In a bid to halt the ecological crisis, mankind created genetically modified organisms. But the altered biomaterials killed edible plants, animals, and most people. Only the wealthiest are left to live in cities called citadels, and the rest sell their blood for food. Could a little girl bring down a whole system?
Watch fantastic recaps by fans of the movies.
The movie begins in a wooded area where a teenage girl named Vesper is searching for viable biological specimens. She is accompanied by a flying spherical drone. Vesper arrives at a house in the woods where a motionless man is lying on a bed. This is her father Darius. The former serviceman is now immobile, relying on special bacteria-infused solutions that Vesper administers through devices to sustain his life. Although he cannot speak or breathe independently, his consciousness is linked to a flying drone, allowing him to communicate with his daughter and join her on outdoor excursions. The girl changes the solution and goes to the lab. Vesper, dedicated to bioengineering, conducts experiments with the aim of cultivating seeds that could provide a sustainable harvest, aiming to alleviate hunger. The girl leaves the facility when a drone informs her that a female pilgrim is nearby. Vesper takes a keen interest in the pilgrims. These people never talk to anyone, only pick up trash for an unclear purpose. The girl approaches the house and begins to suspect that someone has snuck inside. Vesper discovers damage to their home's generator caused by unexpected visitors. Without it, sustaining her father's life support becomes impossible. Determined, she decides to visit a nearby farm to obtain the necessary bacteria for the system. At the farm, Vesper witnesses a horrifying scene. The settlers are employing genetically modified humanoid servants that everyone calls Jug. They are being raised in the Citadel's laboratories. While working, one of the teenagers fails to keep an eye on Jug and the creature is traumatized. The head of the settlement, Jonas, Darius's brother, instructs a teenager to end the servant's suffering. Vesper asks Jonas to give her the bacteria, but the man declares that he is not in the charity business. The girl then offers to become a blood donor. While the procedure takes place, Jonas offers the girl to join their settlement. He promises food, protection, and care for the teenager's father. But the girl refuses, declaring that she will not become another Jonas incubator. Vesper pleads with the man for bacteria, but he insists she returns in a couple of days as he intends to sell her blood first. The girl disagrees. Her father doesn't have that much time and will die without power. In desperation, she rushes to the blood supply cabinet, but Jonas grabs her and pushes her out of the room. Vesper has no other choice, and the girl returns to the farm, sneaking through a small hole in the fence. She sneaks into the lab, takes the bacteria, and finds the supply of seeds Jonas received from the Citadel. She also secures some of the valuable seeds. On her way home, Vesper notices that one of the Citadel's flying machines, a glider, is crashing in the woods. Back home, Vesper fixes the generator and reveals her discovery to her father. The girl hopes to modify them so that they can produce offspring. After such a discovery, Vesper expects that the Citadel will take her to work for them. Darius does not believe this will work and asks the girl to return the seeds. The father quarrels with his daughter and the girl runs away into the forest. Vesper stumbles upon a woman from the Citadel named Camellia. She lies unconscious and the mutant plants around her are trying to suck the nutrients from her body. Vesper rescues her, brings her home, and tends to her wounds. Darius berates his daughter for bringing a stranger into their home. After all, she may be searched for and stumble upon. But the girl hopes that the new acquaintance will take them to the Citadel. The woman tries to get out of bed, but falls to the floor when Vesper enters. Camellia reveals that she was flying with her father. She asks Vesper to help find him, promising that she will reward the family. Despite Darius's objections, the girl agrees to begin the search the next morning. In the evening, Vesper shares her father's story with Camellia, who was injured while serving in the Citadel's army. But his only reward was a drone through which he can communicate with his daughter. Camellia is sure that when they take them to the Citadel, the man will be helped. Vesper tells the happy news to her father, but the man does not react. He has a seizure and everything starts to shake. Then Camellia approaches Darius, kisses him on the forehead, and the man falls asleep peacefully. Vesper goes in search of the glider and finds it in the middle of the forest. She is trying to open the cockpit when Jonas and the settlers come to him. The man sees the drone and realizes that the teenager has restored power to her home. The girl says she found an emergency supply of bacteria. Meanwhile, Jonas's men open the cockpit where they find a half-dead Elias and Camellia's father. Elias pleads for help, but Jonas finishes him despite Vesper's efforts to stop it. He also finds a woman's scarf in the cockpit of the machine and realizes that there was another passenger in the glider. On the way home, Darius convinces his daughter not to say anything to Camellia, but to contact the Citadel directly. Although only Jonas has the transmitter, the girl has sneaked to it more than once before. Back at the house, Vesper assures Camellia that she will persist in her search, claiming to have found no leads. Vesper trusts Camellia more and more and shows her laboratory. The girl is proud of her experiments, but most of all she hopes to create a plant that can bear fruit. While Vesper is engrossed in the story, Darius tells Camellia that he will not be able to get to the Citadel, but asks the woman to take his daughter there. In the evening, Vesper inquires why the Citadel refuses to accept other people who could perform the tasks instead of relying on the jugs. However, the city leadership prioritizes controlling the jugs as they can be managed more effectively than humans. Vesper also reveals that her mother didn't die, but left a year ago with the Pilgrims. The next day, the girl sneaks back into the farm to use the transmitter to contact the Citadel, but Jonas is already waiting for her. He takes the drone and pretends to want to fix it. The man asks Vesper about the missing seeds and the unknown passenger, but she continues to insist that she knows nothing. As they talk, Vesper manages to grab the drone and escape with it. In the woods, the drone crashes. During the search, the girl hears the sounds of a chase. Jonas has sent his men to catch up with his runaway niece. They catch the teenager and put a mark on her, which indicates that the girl now belongs to the head of the settlement. Angry and depressed, Vesper returns home, where Camellia again suggests she look for her father, at which point the girl informs her that Elias is dead. She leads the woman to the river where Jonas disposed of the body. Camellia is in great emotional distress and clings to her father's body in the water, but Vesper calms her down and helps her to the shore. The girl notices a scar on the woman's back that begins to react to her touch. Vesper realizes that Camellia is a jug. The teenager does not understand how a woman can be a jug. After all, they do not possess a mind. Camellia then admits that Elias created her, and they were fleeing the Citadel when they broke. Creating an intelligent slave is considered a crime. The girl realizes that the woman lied when she promised to take her and her father to the Citadel. But Camellia assures her that another Citadel has offered the scientist asylum and was waiting for them. An enraged Vesper pushes and beats the woman. At home, Vesper, upset, orders Camellia to leave her alone. Vesper repairs the drone and tells her father about everything. Darius asks his daughter to show compassion to Camellia because Jug is subject to his master and has no freedom of choice. Camellia realizes that she may become a victim of the Citadel and decides to commit suicide. But Vesper appears at the last moment to save the woman from a rash act. She comforts her and suggests that she not give up. Vesper asks the woman for permission to study a sample of her tissue. The girl begins to do the research, but Jug's cells, like the plant seeds from the Citadel, have a defense mechanism. In an attempt to please Vesper, Camellia plays a musical instrument, and a specific note removes the cell protection. Now the girl can unlock the seeds. They will produce crops and people won't have to starve. Camellia says that this was Elias's plan, to exchange the key to unlocking the cages for shelter. Darius asks the woman to take Vesper away so they can get protection and a new home, but the girl is unwilling to leave her father. The man insists, warning that the Citadel will be merciless. Vesper won't listen to anything and leaves to the old lab to get new filters. At the house where Camellia and Darius are left alone, Jonas arrives. He offers the woman to go with him so he can bring her home, but she says that the Citadel men have already been sent for her. Jonas doesn't believe it, since he is the only one with a transmitter. Skeptical, he threatens Darius, prompting Camellia to agree to leave with him to protect her father. But suddenly, Jonas discovers a scar on her back that indicates she is a jug. He slips his finger into the scar to reprogram the creature and become its new master. At this point, Vesper returns and tries to interfere with Jonas. Camellia and Vesper fight with Jonas. In the end, Jug and the girl defeat the rival, and Vesper wants to make a deal with him. She offers to share the secret to unlocking the seeds with him. In exchange, she asks that he not inform the Citadel about Camellia. Jonas agrees, but comes home to the farm and breaks the arrangement. Vesper uses Camellia's DNA and finalizes the seeds. But suddenly the drone detects suspicious activity near the house. It's the soldiers from the Citadel. Through the cracks of the house, an unknown substance is seeping inside. Darius realizes what is happening and orders Vesper and Camellia not to breathe. Once the smoke clears, Camellia feels responsible for their peril and contemplates surrendering to protect them. But Darius wants to distract the soldiers and buy time for the daughter and Jug. The girl doesn't want to leave her father. Darius says he knows how to interact with the military and will be able to convince them that they don't have the jug they are looking for. Meanwhile, the soldiers come to the Jonas farm and kill its inhabitants. Vesper and Camellia take the seeds with them and head into the forest. When the military enters, Darius sets his real plan in motion. He activates the drone's self-destruct, causing an explosion, but dying himself in the process. In the forest, the girl notices the explosion and wants to go back, but Camellia stops her. The two surviving soldiers begin to chase after the women. The girl leads Camellia to the swamp, where she warns her to avoid touching the red grass. But the soldiers are unaware of the terrain, and one of them runs through the grass, picking up a swarm of insects that attack him and kill him. The second soldier does not repeat his comrade's mistake. Vesper and Camellia crawl through the terrain, but one of the plants begins to make a sound as they approach. Then the women attack the soldier, take away his weapon, but it does not fire. They push the pursuer closer to the red grass, and Vesper throws the weapon at it, raising a swarm of deadly insects into the air. She and Camellia fall to the ground, and the bugs kill the military man. The women continue walking through the forest when they hear the sound of more gliders. The jug realizes that the Citadel will never stop searching. Vesper resists her decision to surrender, but Camellia uses her ability to put people to sleep with a kiss and touches the girl with her lips. She hides the girl and surrenders to the Citadel herself. In the morning, Vesper wakes up and returns to the remains of her home. She plants some seeds there. The girl meets a small group of surviving children from Jonas' farm. They travel together and meet one of the pilgrims and continue to follow him. They come to a hermit settlement with a tall tower made of garbage in the center. Vesper climbs to the top of the structure and releases the remaining seeds from her hand, which are picked up by the wind, symbolizing hope for the revival of edible plants and the recovery of humanity.
Watch fantastic recaps by fans of the movies.
What do you think? Can genetically modified organisms really save the Earth, or will they cause a similar catastrophe? We sincerely thank you for viewing our content. Your comments are the way to improve in qualitative development of new recaps. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and comments after watching.